The following is a broadcast presentation of Central Ohio Sports Network. Welcome to Warhawk Pregame on Central Ohio's Sports Network.
Back-to-back nights for Westerville Central as they get set to take on the Stallions of St. Francis DeSales here at DeSales High School. And what should be a fun matchup as DeSales comes in at 11-6 overall, 2-2 in the CCL. Westerville Central coming off a win last night against Grove City, 6-11 overall, 4-3 in the OCC Ohio. Coming up inside Warhawk Pregame, we will preview this matchup. And Lance Wyatt will join us on the sidelines. Wes Minke will have our reactions from the sidelines as well. Our statistician Skip Ford is with us to tally the numbers. It's senior night for the Stallions, and Westerville Central wants to go back-to-back on their wins. And we preview it next on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Ohio. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to Warhawk Pregame on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Welcome back inside Warhawk Pregame on Central Ohio Sports Network. Brent Ford, Lance Wyatt, Wes Minke, Skip Ford with you from the stage on the baseline from the gymnasium of St. Francis DeSales. It's not my first time on this stage. It's probably been here 3 or 4 times, to be honest. And it's actually, you would think calling a game from the baseline would be annoying. And most of the times I would agree with you. However, this gym is so small at DeSales that I'm okay with it because you're so close to the action. You can make it out pretty well. There's not that many seats that are available in this gym, and so a small crowd still feels like you fill it up. And then, Lance, I don't know if you ever had the chance to play in here with that Warhawk jersey, but it definitely is a different atmosphere.
So I actually never did, surprisingly, get the opportunity to play in this gymnasium. But you described it. You described what this matchup is going to be perfectly. I think it's all going to start with the atmosphere. I think there's a big reason why this St. Francis DeSales team is a much better team at home than they are on the road. And I think the atmosphere and the gymnasium and the rim specifically, play a big factor into that. And, with it being senior night, it just adds to the fun for both teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one for sure. St. Francis DeSales coming off of a win against St. Charles last night, 42-29. But they also had that big upset win against Reynoldsburg on Tuesday night, 61-59, right here in this floor. And that was the biggest upset around Central Ohio so far this year.
I don't think there was too many people around Central Ohio that really believed that this DeSales team was a force to be reckoned with until they got that major upset on this past Tuesday against the 15-0 Reynoldsburg. That was a statement win. And you can say whatever you want about it, but it proved just that, this senior-led club has a lot of forces, and it's not just, while it's led by P.J. Knowles, they have plenty of guys to be reckoned with. The six-man tandem of Carter, excuse me if I pronounce it wrong, but Amankwa, Carter Ward, Devin Amankwa, C.J. Carter, P.J. Knowles, and Frankie McAllister, as well as Chase Cromwell. Just them 6 alone average over 54 points per game. So they're all able to deliver the juice.
Last night, Westerville Central comes off a win against Grove City, 57-46. That's a season sweep of the Greyhounds for Westerville Central. They're now 4-3 inside the division. And coming off that win of Grove City, Lance, what'd you take away from last night?
I mean, the main takeaways is that, when we're playing our best ball defensively, we're really tough to beat. I thought we were exceptionally well on the ball. We were very physical, and, you know, it didn't lead to too many fouls, and that was a big plus for us. I also really loved, and you kind of couldn't really tell in the middle of the game just because of the style of the way the game was going, but we had very limited turnovers. I'm not exactly too sure what the exact number was.
I think it was 8.
8 turnovers.
Yep.
I'm just really, I don't know if the last few minutes kind of changed that a little bit, but it seemed like it was very minimal, and they've been keeping it under 10 these last few games. And it's a big factor because they've been shooting the ball better than they have all season.
When we come back, we're going to hear from the Warhawks head coach. That's Max Shaver as we continue on Central Ohio Sports Network.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. Is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Warhawk Pregame on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Welcome back inside Warhawk Pregame, Central Ohio Sports Network. Brent Ford joined with Westerville Central head coach Max Shaver. Coach, you're coming off a win against Grove City. Now you go on the road to take on St. Francis DeSales. But in that game last night against Grove City, what were some of the positive things that you liked coming out of that game?
Yeah, I think the whole game was surrounded by selflessness and being unselfish with the basketball. Constantly preaching that all week, and to see it actually being executed on the floor was huge for us. We got to continue to play that way, though, especially against a team like DeSales, who's going to pressure us on their smaller court at home. There's going to be a ton of energy, so we have to keep that selfless approach when we face some adversity tonight.
We talked to Matt Brett last night in the postgame, and he said that you gave the team the ability to sleep in today after that win. He seemed pretty excited about that. Is that something that goes a long way for a team coming off a win like that?
I mean, it was planned already, as was win or lose, just to be honest with you. It just made sense going back to back, and you know we've practiced so much with these long breaks in between games, so it made sense to give them a little rest. But we were able to get some film in and some shooting and some scouting stuff done right before we got on the bus. So hopefully it's fresh in their heads.
Yeah, you got to go up against the senior PJ Knowles. He's leading scorer right now for this DeSales team, and you're playing on their home floor. How do you contain a player like PJ Knowles?
Yeah, I told our guys, I said, I think PJ is probably one of the best guards in Central Ohio. He's definitely a 3-level scorer. You have to do your best to contain him. He's going to make shots. He's going to get to the rim. But I think the key for us tonight is you can't let those other guys hurt us, and you limit him, but you don't allow those other guys to make shots and get up in the double digits scoring. So it'll be a huge challenge for us, but it's good for us, especially going into tournament time, face this type of competition.
What emphasis, if any, do you put on the size of the gym that you're playing in?
Not really. I kind of like it. We like playing here because they're going to try and speed us up a little bit. They're going to throw some 1-2-2 at us, and, we like to play fast too. So if we can get up and down a little bit and extend our outlets and get our runners running, I think it kind of plays to our advantage.
When you talk about the tournament, how important is a game like this going into the tournament? I mean, this is a team that's Division III right now in the OHSA, so how does this help you get ready for that tournament?
Yeah, I mean, the division doesn't play much of an impact. I think it's just playing this type of competition. They've beaten a number of Division I schools, and obviously they're one of the best teams in Central Ohio, in my opinion. So just getting this experience here, playing, it's senior night for them, so hopefully they get a good crowd. But it should be fun. It should be competitive, and our schedule's tough. We don't play anybody easy. And there's a reason for that, and hopefully it pays off come, late February.
You're right. This team is always competitive. They lost to Grove City, but they also beat Reynoldsburg the other night. So it's a toss-up of what kind of DeSales team you get each night. How do you want your team to exit this school tonight after a win or a loss? How do you want them to exit this school knowing that they've competed at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, with confidence, of course. Win or loss, you want to come out with you want to leave feeling good about what you've done on the floor, and that goes for coaches, players, everybody on staff. You want to feel like you gave it everything you had for 32 minutes, win or loss. But obviously, we're here to compete. We're here to win, and every win matters this time of year. So hopefully, that's the outcome tonight.
Coach, best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
That's Westerville Central head coach Max Shaver, and we'll have more after this on COSN.
This has been Warhawk Pregame on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Welcome to today's game. This is Paul Keels, and you know how much I love broadcasting the Buckeyes, but I also love high school sports. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to set a good example and make this a fun and safe experience for the kids involved. I know this game means so much to the players, coaches, and fans, but high school sports are about much more than the wins and losses. They teach life lessons that will be with the players long after their playing days are over. Good luck to both teams, and remember to respect the game.
Connect with Central Ohio Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram at COSN Audio, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Central Ohio Sports Network. COSN social media will have score updates, pictures from the game, audio clips, interviews, and more. Follow and like today. Central Ohio Sports Network. Sports coverage by the fans. The following is a broadcast presentation of Central Ohio Sports Network.
Dylan Edens with the game winner at the buzzer! Lemaire for a quick three near side. Got it! Westerville Central wins it in double overtime. Clark drives the shot. Good! Quincy Clark! Long throw for Pedroso into traffic. Loose ball. Brad Leonard gets it. That's it! Westerville Central gets the win over Westerville South. That's it! It's all over. The district champs are Westerville Central for the first time in school history. And a dunk for M.J. Davis. Tillman with a last second three! Oh! Back-to-back district titles for Westerville Central! Cook 1 second from half court. It's up and it's in! Oh my gosh! No way! Holy crap! Westerville Central wins it at the buzzer! Tassos Cook sends Westerville Central to the Final Four! Dribbling it out is Quincy Clark, and Kevin Martin goes nuts for Westerville Central as the Warhawks, with 2 seconds, are on their way to Championship Sunday. Henderson, the last second three! He banked it in! Oh my goodness! The Warhawks of Westerville Central and the Stallions of St. Francis DeSales getting set to match up on a Saturday night here from Columbus on, well, what's kind of a warmer Saturday. It was still in the 30s a little bit, but the temperature's been getting a little bit better out there for everybody.
Hey, for those who, may have forgotten, tomorrow is Groundhog's Day.
Oh.
It's a big factor in what's going to be happening.
I got to get my
next
top
6
hat out.
weeks.
Did you know, I heard this from the fan the other day. Did you know that they do not give that groundhog food or water for like 24 or 48 hours or something crazy like that in order to get a good reaction from it, like a sluggish reaction or something? That just seems wrong.
I'm not.
It just seems wrong. We're going to pause here in just a moment for the national anthem. And it looks like they actually have one of those roll-down flags above the scores table. They're introducing the officials right now. And I would assume, since we're here at DeSales, that we'll also have a prayer. So we'll be sure to respect that as well. And here it is. We'll send it to the public address announcer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to play the game in your name. We ask that your presence is evident through all the players, officials, and spectators tonight. Lord, help keep both teams safe through your grace. St. Francis DeSales, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
There was your national anthem. Of course, the prayer as well for the beginning of the game. And the referees almost got hit in the head by the flag coming down. It lowers so low that they didn't realize they would be in the way, and it almost bonked them on the head.
DeSales is doing a great job of delivering entertainment everywhere we look, I'll tell you that.
Let's get to your starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the Stallions of St. Francis DeSales. A junior, 6'3", averaging 6.8 points per game, number 1, David Amankwa. A senior, 6'1", number 2, averaging 7 points per game, Carter Ward. Averaging 7 points per game, 6'5", senior, number 5, CJ Carter. Averaging 18 points per game, 6'4", senior, 11, PJ Knowles. And a senior at 6'4", number 43, Liam Donovan. The Stallions are led by head coach Pat Murphy. Let's get to your starters for Westerville Central. A captain, 6'1", senior post, 0, Ethan Burns. On the wing, a 6'5", senior, number 2, Josh Henderson. At guard, a captain, 6'2", senior, number 3, Amari Spiva. On the wing, who was the leading scorer last night, 6'3", junior, number 5, Matt Brett. And at guard, 6' junior, 20, Mason Gooden. The Warhawks are led by head coach Max Shaver. This will be game number 501 in program history for Westerville Central. They are 254 and 245 overall all time. That's an all-time winning percentage of 50.9% for the program. Not that I like my numbers or anything, Lance, but I like my numbers.
Hey, who doesn't like numbers
I may not be
nowadays,
good at math, but at least I like my numbers.
Well, hopefully we're able to create some numbers and attack tonight, as we got a tough matchup on our hands, but it should be a fun one.
Henderson will take the opening tip with CJ Carter. DeSales in their home whites with the purple trim. Warhawks are in their blacks with the silver trim. And looks like the officials said that the possession is actually going to go to Westerville Central.
So, Skip, how would you rule that in your scorebook? I know you're all about the tip pregame.
Yeah, I say we get it. Yeah, he caught on the way up, correct?
Yes, yep. Westerville Central will have the basketball, and this will be Amari Spiva working to the near side left as Westerville Central works left to right. We're on the baseline on the stage here inside the gym, so our vantage point a little different. We'll try to bring it to you as normal. But Henderson will take it center logo. Now Burns to the near side wing for Westerville Central. On to the left side goes Mason Gooden to Henderson for the three. That's on the way and good for Josh Henderson.
Great patience on the opening possession for the Warhawks. They've been doing a great job of doing that recently, and they continue that streak here.
It's 3-0 Westerville Central. We'll get a foul on Mason Gooden as DeSales was coming down the floor. His first, team's first. Inbounding will be C.J. Carter. Amonkwa between the circles will move to Carter on the left elbow as DeSales travels right to left. P.J. Knowles spins from the right elbow to the left, but then hands it off to Carter Ward. He'll go outside to C.J. Carter, and Carter will have it on the near side wing. Carter against Ethan Burns, the senior. And we're going to get a 5-second call on Carter on that far side. It'll be a turnover and possession to the Warhawks.
How about the Warhawks doing it on both ends to start this game? A great defensive possession, keeping the men in front of them. P.J. Knowles tried to, make something happen with his great dribbling moves, but the Warhawks prevail.
A little full court pressure by DeSales, but Matt Brett is there to get the reception in his hands. And Amari Spiva dribbling inside, gets it poked away, but it's off of his feet, and possession will go to DeSales.
Just an unfortunate bounce right there. The Warhawks did a good job, attacking that. Looked like a 1-2-2 or a type of full court press zone from DeSales, but just an unfortunate bounce, and got to make up for it on the defensive end.
It'll be P.J. Knowles to have it on the right side wing, checked by Henderson. Knowles coming off a screen, wide open for a three, and he buries it.
Talk about a screen from Liam Donovan, the senior, coming out and laying one early in this game, leaving P.J. Knowles wide open for that three ball.
3-3 is your score, and we've got 6:10 on the clock, and this is Henderson for a three, trying to answer. He can't get it to go. Carter Ward will have the rebound for the Stallions, and they'll work between the circles. Ward will work to the near side wing now against Ethan Burns. A feed to the interior. And that's Donovan with the hook shot. That's no good. The rebound will go to Henderson of Westerville Central. He'll push the floor against Carter, go up, and he'll draw the foul. He faced three white jerseys there, but he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
I love the aggressiveness that Josh Henderson is showing early in this game. He was pretty used to having 2 or 3 men on him at all times last night. So it seems like any open space he gets, he's not afraid to do something with it. And now he's got a chance at 2 free throws.
Foul was on Amonkwa, and it will be Henderson at the line. Eyes at toes, it shoots it. Back iron, no good. Under 6 to play in this first quarter, and it's tied up at 3 apiece between Warhawks and Stallions. Missed the first, his second is up. Rims off, no good. P.J. Knowles, the rebound for DeSales. Up the floor to Carter. Carter on the right wing, goes inside, finds a cutting Ward. Ward hesitates, he's in the paint, gets it stripped away. Henderson will have the steal for the Warhawks. And Westerville Central pushes it up onto the far side wing to Amari Spiva, back to Henderson on that far point. Now around the arc near side, Matt Brett. Brett with the left-handed feed to Spiva, but top of the key. Now to Burns on the left side wing, will go back to Spiva, center circle. Now to Matt Brett on the near side wing. Brett will find Spiva. Check that Henderson between the circles. Henderson goes to Burns, back to Henderson. And then we're going to get a drive by Henderson. It's going to be a blocking foul inside by DeSales. They're going to call that on C.J. Carter. That'll be his first, team's second.
I think Henderson might have got away with a little bit of a, player control foul there, but, I really like what I'm seeing from the Warhawks early.
Ethan Burns will get it out to Mason Gooden, who works this near side to Henderson on a wing. Against Carter, Henderson to the free throw line. Fade away, and it's going to be a whistle and a player control foul on Josh Henderson.
Looks like that might have been a makeup call from last possession, or the possession leading up, I should say. But I still really like what I've been seeing. They're very patient on offense, used up about 40 seconds and change on that offensive possession, and you want to be patient in this game and try and keep DeSales out of rhythm.
Under 5 to play in the first quarter. We're still tied at 3. There's a look inside to P.J. Knowles on the left block, and then they cut it onto the right side to McAllister, who checked in, and he lays it up for two. DeSales with a 2-point lead. Mari Spiva, quick transition out to Gooden, near side inside the arc. That's no good. The rebound will go to C.J. Carter of DeSales. And Carter will bring it up right to left. Carter on the right wing finds Knowles top of the key. Knowles tries to get around Henderson, picks up his dribble to the near side wing. Now we'll go onto the right side of Amonkwa. Amonkwa to the free throw line. Into the paint he goes, got it tipped, and it's a foul on Westerville Central. It'll go against Mason Gooden. That'll be his second, team's third.
Both teams still really trying to find their rhythm early in this game. Just a 5-3 score in favor of the Stallions. Let's see if the Warhawks can pick up some momentum off that full court press that DeSales been running. There's been, excuse me,
go ahead.
apologize.
No, go ahead.
Oh.
C.J. Carter with the inbound bucket.
Looks like none of us are ready, and it's including the players on the floor.
Well, checking in was Grant Weekly for DeSales. And DeSales has a 7-3 lead over Westerville Central with under 4 to play in the opening quarter. This will be Henderson, far side corner. Feeds Spiva that far wing. Spiva inside with the shot. That's no good. Carter the rebound for DeSales. Out to P.J. Knowles. Knowles will bring it up right to left. He'll set up onto the right side wing. Knowles spins into the lane, pulls up at the free throw line. Left it short, but a foul is called on Westerville Central.
Great defense from Josh Henderson right there, doing everything he can against P.J. Knowles. But the Warhawks got to make sure they're not complacent on that offensive end. They got to keep working that DeSales defense side to side if they want to create any good opportunities.
Timeout by Westerville Central. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with them on COSN.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is the home of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.
First quarter action, it's 7-3 DeSales, and let's join the third member of our broadcast crew, Wes Minke, over on the Westerville Central sideline.
Yeah, Coach Mac Shaw over there on that timeout, stressing his team to play unselfish on the offensive end. Also stressing to play team defense, right? Not playing with the one guy. Two guys now picked up 2 fouls early in this game. So playing team defense and not playing selfish on the offensive side is going to help the Warhawks here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think that sounds about right. I mean, you know, the refs aren't afraid to make the calls on us early in this game. We got to make sure we're doing a good job rotating like we did last night and, you know, keeping our hands up when we're contesting shots at the rim.
Well, P.J. Knowles is at the line. His first one is no good. His second is up and good. P.J. Knowles with 4 points now, and DeSales leads Westerville Central 8-3. Westerville Central with the basketball. Amari Spiva near side wing. Spiva has Marshall Neal all over him, and then Tyler Gooden in the near corner for a 3 is good.
Just one nice play from Amari Spiva, beating a man off a dribble. And just an easy catch-and-shoot corner 3 for Tyler Gooden.
8-6. DeSales leads Westerville Central. Weekly will have it, and he'll try to spin out to Cromwell for the 3, and that's good.
Cromwell's one of those guys you got to watch out on the perimeter from DeSales. There's not too many guys on this team outside of Knowles and Cromwell that'll shoot it. You still got to have eyes on them.
Amari Spiva to the near side wing. He'll penetrate inside, then dish it back out to Gooden. Gooden around the arc, top of the key to Henderson. To Matt Brett on the far side, to Spiva on the wing. Feeds Burns on the far baseline. Out to Henderson for a 3. That one rims in and out, no good. Tyler Gooden fighting for the rebound. And I thought maybe they were out of bounds, but I guess not. McAllister stayed in. They get it out to Cromwell, but Henderson with a steal. Henderson takes it, misses it front, but does draw the foul.
Bit of a late whistle from the referee there, but I'm not going to be upset about it. Great steal from Josh Henderson, doing it on both ends early in this game. hopefully these 2 free throws can help his rhythm.
Already with 3 points tonight, Josh Henderson will go to the line. Takes his time, puts it up, back iron miss.
DeSales has done a good job of keeping the Warhawks guessing early in this game, whether it's just sticking with their 5-man defense or running, whether it's just a deep 2-3 zone or a 1-1-3 almost full court press. The Warhawks are going to have opportunities to shoot threes all night long.
Henderson converts the second one. He's got 4 points. It's 11-7. DeSales leading Westerville Central. Ball is tipped out of bounds by DeSales. They've turned the ball over, and it's going to be Westerville Central possession as P.J. Knowles is going to get a breather for DeSales.
That was Josh Henderson again, getting his hands all over that basketball. Ended up deflecting it and having it go off P.J. Knowles. Warhawks get the ball.
Tyler Gooden, near side wing, goes to Amari Spiva, top of the key. DeSales in a zone here. They try to go inside to Matt Brett, and the bad pass pokes it out of bounds, and it will be DeSales possession.
And like I said, they're doing a good job of keeping us guessing, and it really left Warhawks questioning what to do right there. That looked like a different zone than the full court press one. Keeping me guessing as well, I'll tell you that, Brent.
This will be Marshall Neal, top of the key, now left side to Cromwell. Cromwell to Carter. Carter takes his dribble, wanted to go inside, but then feeds it back to Marshall Neal. Now onto the left point, Weekly. Weekly, top of the key, dribbles to his right. Weekly down to the right baseline, trying to get around Burns, but then feeds to Carter between the circles. Now onto the left wing, Marshall Neal. Neal, top of the key, Weekly. Onto the right wing goes McAllister. McAllister for DeSales, skips cross court to Weekly in the near side wing. Weekly goes to the left elbow, then hands it off to Carter, left point. Carter will dribble it off to the right point. Hand off to Cromwell, and it's stolen away by Amari Spiva. He takes it the other way, and Spiva with the dunk.
It's been the defense for the Warhawks that has been keeping us in this game in this first quarter, and this time it's Amari Spiva doing it on both ends. Heck of a finish.
11-9. DeSales leading Westerville Central. Far side on a wing is Weekly. Weekly against Spiva. Weekly trying to get around, but can't, but hands it off to Carter. Carter, right wing for DeSales, goes down to the right block, and that's Cromwell. Cromwell gets around Matt Brett, puts it up, check that, that'll McAllister, and he's got 4 points now.
McAllister showing his footwork down there in the post. Something a force to be reckoned with. Got to make sure we keep eyes on that.
Amari Spiva finds Henderson as we hit the 22nd mark to play in this first quarter. It's 13-9 DeSales. Tyler Gooden gathers for a three. Far side is good.
Great offense from the Warhawks right there. Overloading on one side. Miscommunication from the Stallions. 1 point game.
Final 3 seconds of this first quarter. Grant Weekly loses the basketball, and it's going to be an over the back. But the clock will expire, and that'll be how the first quarter ends with Westerville Central coming within one of DeSales on Central Ohio Sports Network.
I'm Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Warfield. There's just one place where students are students first and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports help young people become confident leaders and role models and use the skills developed today to do even bigger things in life tomorrow. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Ohio needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This is the home of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.
Westerville Central in that first quarter went 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 behind the arc, 3 rebounds, 2 turnovers, and 4 steals. And now we start this second quarter with DeSales in possession. And it'll have Ward feeding it off to Knowles. Knowles to Ward.
And the Warhawks are in a zone to come out in this second quarter. Something different we don't normally see from the Warhawks.
On to the right side, they'll feed to Ward. Outside to Amankwa. Ward skips cross court to Amankwa. He'll go to the free throw line, pull up. That's no good. Ball tipped around. Matt Brett with the rebound to Westerville Central. Up the floor to Henderson. Pulls up. The 2 is left short. Ball tipped near baseline. It's going to go out of bounds. And possession stays with Westerville Central. And why don't we check in with our third member of our broadcast crew, Wes Minke.
Yeah, Max Shaw over there on that one, stressing to his team to get over the top on screens. Again, playing team defense. He liked the way they finished that first quarter, hoping the effort stays the same here on the defensive end in the second.
Got to get around those screens. That's going to be critical. Henderson to the near side wing for Westerville Central. And they'll work far side to Amari Spiva. Spiva hands it off Henderson. They'll go back and forth, top of the key. Coach Shaver for Westerville Central calls out the new play. And Spiva will set it up to the near side wing. Gives it off to Gooden. Gooden balances the floor to Henderson underneath on the feed for an easy layup too.
What a pass from Tyler Gooden, doing a little bit of everything for the Warhawks right now on the defensive end, shooting the 3 ball, and now diming up Josh Henderson.
Westerville Central takes the lead 14-13 over DeSales. They go inside. Ward for the Stallions. Puts up the shot. No. Got his own rebound. Put back no, but he does draw the foul that time.
Matt Brett kind of got put into no man's land right under the basket, giving up a couple offensive rebounds, but he was battling down there, and now he's going to make Carter Ward earn his 2 points at the charity stripe.
He's a 52% free throw shooter, averaging 7 points per game on the year. And his first one is back iron miss.
Looks like it might have been the right play from Matt Brett. Just the first foul of the second quarter and only his first in the game.
6:24 on the second quarter clock. Westerville Central will have the lead. 14-13 over DeSales. Both free throws missed by Ward at the line. And Westerville Central's Henderson got the rebound. They bring it up the floor. This will be Matt Brett to Burns. Burns will work back to Spiva, near side wing. Now they give it to Henderson on the near baseline. Goes top of the key, Matt Brett. Thought about the 3, then feeds it back to Amari Spiva. Spiva at the right elbow, goes left to Burns. Hands it off, Spiva, far side wing. Spiva drives down, lost the handle into the hands of P.J. Knowles. No call, bounce pass up to Ward. Ward can't handle it on that left side, spins, no bucket, but he does draw the foul.
Definitely a tough swing for the Warhawks there. Beautiful offense. Their offense has looked tremendous so far today, and they continued it on that possession. Amari Spiva just unfortunately didn't get the call there on what looked like he got swiped at the forearms. And now it might be a 4-point swing as Carter Ward's back at the line.
Nope. Missed front of the rim, no.
Maybe not.
Foul was on Ethan Burns. That'll be his first, team's second.
That was a strange and tough miss from Ward there.
Yeah, he's been unsuccessful now on 3 free throw attempts.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a great question from Wes Minke. Can you overthink him?
I think that's a great question. I feel like half the battle at free throws is, the mental aspect of it.
He misses all 4 there. And it's 5:40 to play in the second quarter. Westerville Central leads by 1, 14-13 with the possession. Henderson near side wing. A handoff to Spiva. Spiva checked by Amankwa. They go far side to Matt Brett on a wing. Now back between the circles to Spiva. Spiva to Henderson. On the high right. Top of the key to Tyler Gooden. Now Spiva far side. Henderson between the circles. Goes Spiva, far wing for the 3. That one rattles home.
Amari Spiva letting that ball fly. That's 2 games in a row now. He's letting it go and being successful from deep.
Gonna have a whistle and a foul. I'm not quite sure about that one for Tyler Gooden. It's gonna be his first, team's third. But Westerville Central does lead 17-13, under 5 minutes to play as subs come in.
Apologize for the hesitancy there. Trying to hold back from you know, the slang, I guess you could call it.
Amonkwa will have it to P.J. Knowles on the right wing. Knowles gives it off to Weekly. Now Knowles left wing. Knowles works this near side wing against Benyella. Goes into the lane, goes right side, puts it up. No, it's almost cleaned up by McAllister. He does get the rebound, and now he puts it up right side for two.
Talking about patience in the paint from McAllister right there. And that's how you stay ready and, you know, stick to that offensive glass.
17-15, Westerville Central. Around the back dribble for Spiva, feeds Henderson into the lane. Gets blocked, Amonkwa picks it up for the Stallions, goes right side. A three on the way is off the mark and no good for Cromwell. Henderson will have it, Westerville Central. Moves up to the near side. Mari Spiva's shot, no good, but it does go and hit all the bracketing up top.
Seems like over the last minute of play, the pace has really picked up in this ball game. See if the Warhawks can settle down a little bit to end this second quarter.
It will be Marshall Neal to bring it across for DeSales. Pass off to Knowles, right wing. One-hander to McAllister. Now Marshall Neal. Neal, top of the key. And we're headed the other way. A foul away from the basketball on the baseline. Carter is going to be his second, team's first of the second quarter.
First team foul, second game for the Stallions, number 2, Carter Ward.
And with 3:41 to play in this second quarter, Westerville Central has a 2-point lead. Spiva brings it up on his own. Marshall Neal checked on it. Spiva spins, finds Benyella up near side wing. Dribbles it out to the high left. And Henderson. Henderson comes to the near side. And Spiva now to Burns. Burns ahead of the key. Tries to hand it off Benyella, but we're going to get an illegal screen on Ethan Burns, as he's the one that comes away with the hurt arm.
Looks like he might have got a stinger from that double negative on that play from Ethan Burns. Looks like he's holding his elbow, maybe.
Second foul on Ethan Burns, team foul number 4 for Westerville Central. For those of you counting at home, total in the first half has been 8 to 4 on the fouls. Westerville Central with the most.
I've definitely been noticing it in this first half. Again, another discrepancy here in the second quarter, 4 to 1.
Coming up on 3 minutes to play, Tyler Gooden with a steal for the Warhawks. And Henderson will have it up the timeline on the far side left. Henderson now moves between the circles. Henderson tries to go inside, puts up the shot. Too hard off the back iron. And Tyler Gooden with a steal after the rebound by DeSales. He puts it up and in for 2.
Tyler Gooden has been everywhere right now. Not too sure how many steals he has, but it's make that 3 from the statistician. Talking about making plays.
19-15 is your score as Westerville Central leads DeSales. McAllister with the offensive foul underneath. Matt Brett was able to hold his ground.
Coach Shaver, you better hit the gas station after the game because Matt Brett, get that man a Gatorade. Not too sure how ready he was for that one, but he sure earned that one. As you know, Brent was explaining in the pregame, you know, about these hard wood floors that these boys are playing on tonight.
Yeah, the DeSales floor is a lot different than any other basketball floor I've seen. It doesn't really have a lot of give. You can really hear the stomp of each step and each body hitting the floor. Matt Brett, a drive, feeds to Tyler Gooden for the layup on the left.
Great vision from Matt Brett, and Tyler Gooden, he's just knowing where to be at all places at all times.
Marshall Neal for DeSales will go to Knowles on the right wing as Westerville Central leads 21-15. Inside goes Ward. He's double teamed on the right block. Needs some help. Goes out. 3 from Cromwell. That's no good. tip, Amonkwa out to Knowles. Knowles free throw line. Back to Amonkwa, left point. Now to Knowles, left wing. Knowles will drive down, put it up, and they're going to count the bucket to P.J. Knowles.
That one's going to hurt Tyler Gooden. You know, he's just been trying to be at all places at all times, like I said, but just couldn't get square. Tough finish from P.J. Knowles.
P.J. Knowles now with 6 points. Tyler Gooden's second foul, team foul number 5 of the quarter.
That was really some great minutes from Tyler Gooden there. He's been the X factor in this game so far. Hopefully we see some similar play in the second half.
Knowles misses the free throw, and it's Ethan Burns on the rebound. Burns is going to fight for that, and the possession arrow will favor Westerville Central as we have about 1:34 to play. Got our second set of eyes down there, and Wes Winkie keeping an eye on the clock for us. There's literally a raised hoop right in front of the clock. I can see everything else on that scoreboard. Amari Spiva at the center logo. Penetrates back outside to Henderson for the three is good. 9 for Henderson. 24-17 Westerville Central with 1:40 to play. Amonkwa, right side to Knowles on a wing. Amonkwa, check that, that was 1 minute to play. And now a three by Grant Weekly is no good. Westerville Central brings it up the floor. Amari Spiva to Henderson to Spiva. Spiva far side. Spiva will work it to the near side in Belbin-Yellow. Now Spiva, as Coach Shaver is adamant about slowing it down. 40 seconds left in the first half. Matt Brett, high near side. Center logo Spiva, back to Brett. Matt Brett tries to get around Weekly and does, but gives it off to Spiva. Now Brett, Spiva. Amari Spiva will hold it on this near high side. Double teamed goes Matt Brett, center logo. And a timeout for the Warhawks of Westerville Central with 16 seconds to play in this second quarter, and it's going to be a 30-second timeout for Westerville Central.
How about this first half we've seen from the Warhawks today? You know, they've just been really impressive on the defensive end. You know, I believe they only gave up 18 points in the first half last night. Now only 17 points for the Stallions in the first half tonight, except this time they're doing it on the road. Max Sharver's got to be really happy with his team, and not to mention outscoring the Stallions 11 to 5, excuse me, in this second quarter.
Let's head over to Wes Minke real quick.
Nothing major there, just drawing up a play for Coach Shaver and his crew, so see how I can execute here.
Final 16 seconds of the second quarter. Matt Brett tucks in the jersey. He's ready to inbound. Spiva finds Burns near side wing. Handed off to Henderson. 6 seconds. Spiva, top of the key. Spiva, right elbow, puts it up, back iron miss. Rebound to Ward. Last second shot, Ward, no good. As Westerville Central will go into the locker room. They lead DeSales 24-17. Our halftime report is next on COSN.
Connect with Central Ohio Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram at COSN Audio, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Central Ohio Sports Network. COSN social media will have score updates, pictures from the game, audio clips, interviews, and more. Follow and like today. Central Ohio Sports Network. Sports coverage by the fans.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is this milk still good?
I think so. When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Car is making a strange noise. No matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Welcome to the Halftime Report on Central Ohio Sports Network.
24-17, Westerville Central leads St. Francis DeSales here at the break. Fans, are you looking for a unique and fun alternative for a pre-Valentine's Day night out on February 8th? Westerville Central Touchdown Club and newly formed Sports Performance Boosters are hosting a murder mystery dinner theater at Grizzly Bird Brewing Company. The evening will include an Italian dinner from Carsoni's at 6:30. You can purchase drinks from Grizzly Bird and a live interactive theater production from Enigma Entertainment. Join us for an evening of mystery. $60 a person. Purchase tickets at Hometown Ticketing. No dress code required. Doors open at 6. Hope to see you there in 7 days. It's February the 8th. We are on the first day of February here today for this big one as Westerville Central leads 24-17. Lance, when you backtrack on some of that first half, Westerville Central controlled the basketball pretty well, I thought.
Absolutely. All I can think about, honestly, is defense, defense, defense. We were able to rack up a whole lot of steals against that DeSales offense, and it was able to turn into a lot of successful things in transition. But we were definitely limiting, our turnovers very well in the first half. I'm not too sure if our statistician has the full count yet, but, we'll get it in a minute or so. But I feel like everything that Shawver's been trying to express to not just us and the team, but, I feel like everybody in the Warhawk culture, how he's been wanting to see his team play this season. It seems like over this past couple days, we've finally been seeing it come into fruition, and it's been a great thing to see, really.
He talked about it in the pregame that last night they played very unselfish, right? They were selfless with the basketball. And so sharing that love was key for Westerville Central with the basketball. 9 of 18 from the field, 5 of 7 from behind the arc, Westerville Central, 1 of 4 at the line, 11 rebounds. Henderson has 4 of those, 8 assists. Amari Spiva leads with 3, 7 steals, and Tyler Gooden leads that with 3 turnovers for the Silver and Black here at the break. And I know Wes was at the other end of the floor. He probably had a different view, especially with the defensive side. I know Lance has been preaching about how well the defense has played. What have you seen on that end, Wes, about the defense?
Yeah, I think they played well. They've been physical, which has been the biggest factor, especially on P.J. Knowles. Limiting him inside, I think, has been a huge step. And you've seen a lot of Josh Henderson and Amari Spiva mixed on him. I don't see that changing at all. It's looked to be efficient so far. It's worked early on. So we'll see if Max Shawver changes anything on the defensive end. But a 7-point lead at half against a pretty physical, good team. I think Central takes that every day of the week.
And, when you look at how the defense has been focused on P.J. Knowles, it hasn't opened up too much of other shooting right now, mainly because it hasn't been falling for DeSales. They've only scored 4 points in that second quarter.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, at some point, some of those other players are going to start knocking some shots down, and then maybe your defense changes a little bit if you're Westerville Central.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the Stallions come out with something different and the offense starts changing, then maybe you make adjustments if you're Shawver. Hopefully we can get them and maybe get some insight going into this second half. But, obviously I think you just want to keep what you're doing, limiting P.J. Knowles. I'm not too sure how many points he has, coming into this second half. 6 points, I think we've just done a tremendous job limiting him and keeping him quiet, whether it's scoring or facilitating for this basketball team. It seems like he's been fairly quiet for the most of this first half. But I think, the most important part, we were struggling with it in the first couple possessions, but we got back to making sure we're playing 5-man defense, rotating at all times, making sure we're putting bodies on people, and, showing off on the scoreboard with the 24-17 lead.
Fun fact for anyone who follows high school basketball as closely as maybe I do at the high school level in Central Ohio, Grant Weekly, the sophomore, is the son of Kevin Weekly, who was the longtime head coach at Worthington Christian. He's also an All-American basketball player at Otterbein University, and I got the pleasure of growing up watching him play at Otterbein. He was a graduate of 1999. So getting to not only see dad play, but now I get to see son play is actually kind of cool for me, seeing Coach Weekly and then his son, Grant Weekly, out there on the floor. Kevin Weekly is actually the girls' head coach here at DeSales as well now.
Okay.
So bringing it all back for you, bringing it all back. That's how.
Don't age yourself now, Brent.
That's okay. I'm okay with aging myself a little bit. I've got some of that on me now. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half for you as Westerville Central leads St. Francis DeSales at the break, 24-17. We'll have that for you next, right here on COSN.
This has been the Halftime Report on Central Ohio Sports Network.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the OHSAA and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Connect with Central Ohio Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram at COSN Audio, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Central Ohio Sports Network. COSN social media will have score updates, pictures from the game, audio clips, interviews, and more. Follow and like today. Central Ohio Sports Network. Sports coverage by the fans. This is the home of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.
Second half about to get underway here from DeSales as Westerville Central leads 24-17 here on Central Ohio Sports Network. A lot of familiar faces in this gymnasium here tonight as the Warhawks have played very well against the Stallions in this first half of action. And the possession arrow will favor DeSales to start the second half with possession, as it'll be P.J. Knowles that we'll keep our eyes on in this second half. He'll probably want to come alive a little bit more as things keep moving forward. And Amankwa will start it off for DeSales. Brent Ford, Lance Wyatt, Wes Minke, Skip Ford with you. DeSales working left to right as we see it. P.J. Knowles is wide open. You couldn't be more wide open than that. But now the bad pass and the length of time it took to get in the ball. DeSales will turn the basketball over. And then Amankwa will foul Amari Spiva.
A very questionable looking zone coming out of this second half for the Warhawks, yet, you know, the Stallions can't make them pay. That's, like you said, Knowles was wide open in the corner there. Turns out to be a turnover for the Stallions.
Amari Spiva gets the inbound, goes to Henderson, 3 near side. Wing is good for Josh Henderson, who now has 12 points.
I mean, that's probably the easiest pass Amari Spiva is going to make all night. And then when Josh Henderson's wide open like that, good luck.
A 10-point Westerville Central lead, and DeSales will keep the possession after the out-of-bounds play.
You know, I probably complain a little bit too much or talk a little too much about it, but we had the perfect sideline angle on the baseline here. That was definitely off C.J. Carter's knee.
P.J. Knowles will have it, far side. Knowles to the near side wing. And Carter Ward. Ward against Spiva. Will give it out onto the high left to C.J. Carter, begging your pardon. A take inside is good for McAllister. He's got 8 points.
I mean, that was just great offense from the DeSales Stallions right there, moving the ball side to side, creating some opportunity for McAllister, and he capitalized on it.
Amari Spiva, top of the key, double teamed. And a whistle and a foul on the Stallions. It'll be on P.J. Knowles, his second. That'll be the second team foul.
A couple quick ones for DeSales.
It was 9-5, or about 10-5 on the fouls in the first half. More to Westerville Central. But now a couple quick fouls on DeSales. And the Warhawks will have it. Top of the key is Matt Brett onto the right point. Now to Ethan Burns, Henderson near side wing. Burns to Spiva. Back to Burns on that right wing. Top of the key, Mason Gooden. Henderson near side. Henderson to Brett. Between the circles, now Gooden right wing. Mason Gooden finds Amari Spiva to Matt Brett, left point. One-hander to Burns. Spiva right side wing. To a cutting Matt Brett down to the right block, and he'll bring it back out. Loses the handle out of bounds. It'll be DeSales basketball, and Brett was looking for some contact there, but didn't get the whistle.
Great consistency on the defensive end from St. Francis DeSales on that possession right there, hanging in there, and waited for the Warhawks to beat themselves like they did there.
Stallions will have the basketball back. And they'll work to Carter Ward. Amankwa, Knowles inside Carter. Hesitates, puts up the shot, got it to go. C.J. Carter with 4 now. Matt Brett will pick up his second, team's first.
I mean, just a great job from DeSales there, keeping that ball popping, not even looking to put the ball on the ground. Just those quick touch passes led to a great opportunity for C.J. Carter down there in the paint. And now a chance at a three-point play.
Can't convert the free throw. Loose ball picked up by McAllister. Out to C.J. Carter. To the near side baseline and Ward. Ward against Brett. Ward fighting, puts it up. No, but Brett will call the foul, and he's a little disgusted with that call. So is Coach Shaver.
Stallions are going on a bit of a run right now. Nothing too big. You knew this was going to be a ball game in this second half. Warhawks got to make sure they can handle that punch that the Stallions are throwing at us.
Matt Brett with 3 fouls now. Front of the rim miss for Carter Ward. And Tyler Gooden is going to sub in for Matt Brett with those 3 fouls.
Warhawks going small now. It's going to put more on Josh Henderson and Ethan Burns to get it done down low on both ends of the floor. See if they can execute.
(27-22), Westerville Central leads St. Francis DeSales with 5:45 to play, if I saw that clock right, in this third quarter. Henderson near side to Tyler Gooden on a wing. Now Burns, top of the key, dribbles to his left, hands it off Gooden. Gooden heads out to center logo to Spiva, left point. Amari Spiva directs traffic, looking for a screen. Gets one by Ethan Burns, and then it's picked up by the Stallions, but wide open underneath is Tyler Gooden.
That's all Tyler Gooden right there. Of course, it's a beautiful pass from Amari Spiva, but just an even better back cut from Tyler Gooden, leaving him wide open, for a layup.
And then wide open underneath was Frankie McAllister. He's got 10 points now, and it's going to be a 30-second timeout called by DeSales, I believe, called that timeout.
Both teams are really going back and forth right now in this third quarter.
Is that 4:30 on the clock? All right. Wes Minke with the confirmation for me down there as he's going to check in on that huddle for us. And I know Coach Murphy for DeSales, coming into the game, we had an opportunity to exchange an email or two, and he said that the Stallions are hoping to finish strong in the regular season and make a strong effort into the tournament here in a few weeks. Ethan Burns to inbound. Full court pressure here by the Stallions. Amari Spiva will have Knowles on him. Full court here. Spiva brings it up to the near side, or check that far side. He'll be double teamed. Goes inside Tyler Gooden, hands it off Mason Gooden for the layup. Will you believe it? Mason Gooden's first points of the night. And it's 31-24. Westerville Central with a steal by Amari Spiva, headed the other way to Tyler Gooden, and he got it stripped away out of bounds. Possession stays with Westerville Central.
You can tell Amari Spiva's senses are at a high point right now in this game. Diming up everybody on this team and now doing it on both floors, racking up the steal party for the Warhawks.
Henderson will have the inbound to Spiva, right point. Mason Gooden near side. They work the arc. Spiva will have it, center logo. Amari Spiva. Go to Henderson on the right sideline. He'll move high right against P.J. Knowles. Henderson tries to get around Knowles, pulls up on the right baseline. That's no good. The rebound will go to DeSales. That'll be Marshall Neal with about 3:30 to play in this third quarter. 31-24 Westerville Central. DeSales with the basketball. They cut underneath to Carter Ward. He puts up the shot, but he does draw the foul off to miss. It'll be Tyler Gooden with his third foul.
Yeah, Tyler Gooden got beat off a backdoor cut right there on that possession. Great job by Carter Ward moving off the ball. Now gets a chance at 2 free throws. Try and cut into within this lead.
Carter Ward at the line. First one up, and it is good.
You know, like we talked about, he struggled at the free throw line in the first half. It's probably a nice sight to see for Coach Murphy to see that Ward gets his first one to go here. Expect him to get to the line again here in the second half.
Missed that one, and we're going to be heading the other way.
The announcer jinx could have been the plan, but you know, sometimes it's just the natural way it turns out to be.
Carter Ward with his first team foul, 3 on that foul. Burns to inbound. Goes Henderson. Henderson brings it up against P.J. Knowles. Henderson trapped, now goes to Spiva, top of the key. Right side, Bell Beniella gathers for a 3, that's short. Bell got his own rebound on the right baseline, outside to Burns. Burns, cross court to Henderson. He'll drive to the left block, outside to Mason Gooden. Now Burns top of the key. Dribbles to his left, hands it off at the center logo to Amari Spiva. Under 3 minutes to play in this one, of the third quarter, I should say. And Amari Spiva will have it on the high right. Spiva hands it off. Henderson gathers for the 3, straight on, rims in and out, no good. Knowles the rebound for DeSales. Finds C.J. Carter. Now here's Knowles. Into the lane he goes, hesitates, goes cross court. Weakley into the paint, puts up the shot, back iron miss. It'll be Ethan Burns on the rebound for Westerville Central. Amari Spiva, right point for Westerville Central, leading 31-25 with 2:25 to play. Spiva a drive, a kick to the far corner. Three is good for Mason Gooden. And Coach Shaver is going to take a timeout here.
How about the Warhawks, continuing to find success on the offensive end. And it all starts with those paint touches that they've been getting and are continuing to get. I know there was multiple on that possession there, and it finishes with, again, another Amari Spiva drive and dish, this time to Mason Gooden for a wide open three.
Timeout on the floor. We'll step aside real quick, and we'll be right back after this on COSN.
This has been the Halftime Report on Central Ohio Sports Network.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is the home of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.
34-25 is your score as Westerville Central leads DeSales with just under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Out of the timeout, we'll go to Wes Minke.
Yeah, on the offensive side of the ball, Coach Max Shaver wants the ball to continue to run through Amari Spiva, imploring to his guys, keep getting open looks, don't settle for a contested shot. On the defensive end, he said got to keep limiting their shooters. Closeouts on everything on the outside. Don't overcommit, though, on the inside.
P.J. Knowles will have it for DeSales. Goes inside. Shot short. Belbin-Yellow the rebound up to Amari Spiva. Spiva right of the lane, and he's going to be blocked by Carter. Goes into the hands of Marshall Neal. Neal will have it for DeSales. Marshall Neal underneath to Carter Ward. He gets denied by Henderson. Ethan Burns up the floor to Amari Spiva. He draws the foul.
What a sequence of events right there. C.J. Carter meeting Amari Spiva at the rim saying no, 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 and then Josh Henderson on the other end, saying, Amari, I got your back, brother. Swatting a DeSales player at the rim, and now Amari Spiva going coast to coast, getting a chance at two.
P.J. Knowles picks up his third for DeSales. Spiva's first free throw is up, and it is good. He has 6 points. Makes it a 10-point lead again, 35-25, Westerville Central. Leading DeSales, a chance to go to 11 here. As Spiva eyes it, toes it, shoots it. And that one rolls off, no good. Ethan Burns fighting for the rebound. It goes out of bounds off of Burns. And it will be DeSales basketball.
Great hustle from Ethan Burns there. It looked like for a second he was going to be able to get that offensive rebound off the missed free throw. I guess McAllister just had good enough position to get him out of bounds.
What do we got? Minute 14? Is that what that says? Minute 14 to play in the third. It's 35-25. Lots of hands between Belbin-Yellow and Cromwell. It'll be Carter Ward to Knowles, near side. Knowles wanting to back down, but then goes outside to Marshall Neal. Around the arc to Weekly, right on the far side left. And out top the key Ward. Ward hands off Weekly. Goes to Knowles, top of the key. Knowles will drive, and he'll draw the foul on the take. Foul will be on Mason Gooden, I believe. And that's going to be the third foul on Mason Gooden. That'll be the fourth team foul for Westerville Central.
I think West was on the money early in this game. It's been really chippy here in the second half, and the physicality has really grown as the game has gone on.
Marshall Neal gives it off to Weekly. Thought about the three. He'll go far side. Carter in the paint. Checked by Spiva. It'll be a travel on Ward. .30 seconds to play in the third, and it's 35-25, Westerville Central.
Stallions back in that 1-2-2 to end the third quarter.
High passing back and forth between Spiva and Henderson eventually leads to a turnover. Woo! Knowles' shot blocked by Henderson. Marshall Neal in the 12 seconds remaining of the third gives it off Weekly, center logo. Weekly waits. Weekly top of the key, spins into the lane, goes left, lays it up. No, but he does draw the foul.
Tough call right there on Ethan Burns, but, you know, great take by Grant Weekly as the time was winding down in the quarter. Chance to cut into this deficit. Really been impressed with the Warhawks defense tonight.
Absolutely.
You know, we know the Stallions are 7-2 at home this season. And, you know, they average just around 60 points per game, but at home it bumps up to just around 66, and yet we got them limited to 25 in 3 quarters of play.
Grant Weekly misses his first free throw. His second is up, and that one is good. Last second shot by Henderson at half court is no good. And that's how the first 8 minutes of this second half ends with 35-26 score. Westerville Central leading St. Francis DeSales on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Connect with Central Ohio Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram at COSN Audio, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Central Ohio Sports Network. COSN social media will have score updates, pictures from the game, audio clips, interviews, and more. Follow and like today. Central Ohio Sports Network. Sports coverage by the fans.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Ohio. This message presented by the OHSAA and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
This is the home of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.
Fourth quarter, about to get underway as Westerville Central leads DeSales 35-26. Brent Ford, Lance Wyatt, Wes Minke, Skip Ford with you. And we'll get ready to go over to Wes here in just a moment. But right now, Westerville Central will have the possession. Amari Spiva on the high right side. PJ Knowles for DeSales only has 6 points in this game. He averages 18. And Westerville Central trying to drain a little bit of the clock with a 35-26 lead. Working the arc, far side. Near side is Amari Spiva. Works to this near side wing. Redirecting traffic goes Ethan Burns, right of center circle. Now to Spiva. Let's check in with Wes Minke over there after this Henderson shot.
Yeah, Coach Shaver there on that one, making sure his players continue to move the ball. He's trying to get back to what they did earlier successfully. A lot of back cuts, a lot of back screens, trying to get easy layups underneath the rim. Defensively, continue pressure on shooters, specifically on Knowles.
Inside, the shot is up and a miss for Amonkwa, but he got his own rebound for 2. 37-28 is your score. Henderson inside will draw the foul. Grant Weekly is going to pick up his first, team's first of the quarter. Henderson to inbound. Henderson goes up top to Amari Spiva. Spiva with Chase Cromwell on it. 6:30 to play here in this one. Spiva holding near side on a wing. Spiva dribbles it back out and then feeds inside Matt Brett, who gathers for the layup on the right.
I mean, Amari Spiva just completely lulled that Stallions defense to sleep. Had the wide open layup.
Cromwell with the open three, missed it. Knowles picks it up, gathers for the three. That one's good by P.J. Knowles. Timeout for the Stallions. Back to an 8-point Westerville Central lead. And the Stallions want a 30-second timeout here.
Now we know the DeSales, they can get hot in a hurry. And, you know, with not a lot of time left in this game, you know, there's plenty of time in Coach Murphy's mind to really turn the tide in this fourth quarter. But I think, you know, the Warhawks want to do everything they can to limit that, but you don't want to try and, you still want to play to win, and you don't want to play not to lose, if that makes any sense. So you don't want to be too conservative. I really like what I'm seeing on the offensive end, but we got to make sure we're not gambling on the defensive end, playing conservative, playing what we know, and then we got to attack the glass and get that rebound, limit them to one shot.
Anything new over there, Wes?
Yeah, he wants them to keep playing aggressive offensively. As Lance just mentioned, don't play to lose in this situation. Looking to stay aggressive defensively while also playing smart. Again, P.J. Knowles, as I just mentioned, not letting him have an open three, and he has a contested one there to cut the lead back to 8. So see if the Warhawks can implement that here.
All those high passes again on the full court pressure between Spiva and Henderson, but they do get it across the timeline. Tyler Gooden for the three is a miss, front of the rim, picked up by McAllister on the rebound. Cromwell will have it now, and he'll bring it up left to right. Driving McAllister, lays it up and in.
Looked like some type of miscommunication from the Warhawks defensively there, and just like that, it's a 6-point game.
39-33, 5:25 to play in this one. Up the floor, Matt Brett. Brett double teamed, goes to Gooden in the near side wing, and he will draw the foul on the drive against McAllister.
Stallions are really amping up the pressure on that 1-2-2 full court press. Warhawks got to make sure they have their heads on a swivel at all times. And they got to be wary of when they're putting the ball on the floor.
Ethan Burns gets the inbound. Matt Brett left point. Now to Henderson. Inside, Ethan Burns lays it up and one.
Great offense from the Warhawks. Ethan Burns sealing the pin down screen, slipping it. Josh Henderson makes the extra pass. Great and one.
At the line, number 0, Ethan Burns.
Carter Ward is going to pick up his third foul. Whew. And Matt Brett on the inbound got hit in the throat. Right in the...
Putting his body on the line for his teammates, and now we get an extra possession. I'm sure he'll take it.
Henderson to Spiva. 41-33 Westerville Central with 5 minutes to play. Spiva between the circles, onto the right wing, dribbles around the back, comes to the near side, gets around 2 white jerseys, goes in the lane, bounce pass, loses it, but regains. That was some speed by Spiva. Henderson now, near side wing. Henderson drives, Matt Brett corner, pumps the three, drives the baseline, reverse layup, good for Matt Brett.
I think he's all right. Guys, what a move down the baseline, and talk about the up and under layup finish.
Amankwa for DeSales, they trail by 10 again. Now Knowles on the left wing. Knowles free throw line. Step back, underneath pass to Ward, hands it off near side to Cromwell. Cromwell goes to Carter. Carter spins down to the left block, loses it. Picking it up is Ethan Burns of Westerville Central, and Amari Spiva will slow it down as we're under 4 to play.
I think that was all Ethan Burns on that defensive possession there. He did a great job playing free safety down there in the paint. Led to be another turnover for the Warhawks.
Spiva to Henderson on the high right, and as he goes, he will draw the foul.
Coach Pat Murphy's wanting a technical foul on Josh Henderson, slamming the ball after the whistle.
I think he had I think he had justification there because Max Schaber for Westerville Central quickly was waving off to his guys like, don't do that. So Westerville Central has the basketball. High right side for Amari Spiva. Spiva can't get around Marshall Neal. It'll be the first on him. Team foul number 5.
How about that discrepancy in this
Yeah.
fourth quarter?
5 fouls to 0.
Really a swing in this second half for both teams. Looks like the Warhawks are going to be heading to the line rest of the way. Not a good sign if you're Coach Murphy and the Stallions.
Mari Spiva at the free throw line. His first is up. Hits front of the rim, no good.
You know, Spiva's really been struggling at the free throw line all season long. He's really been up and down there. If the Warhawks want to be at their peak performance come into the season, Spiva's going to have to figure out his relationship with him in that free throw line.
Both are missed. Yeah, you're right. Knowles has it on the high left. Now goes between the circles, drives right of the lane, puts up a shot, no, but does draw the foul.
Nice take there from P.J. Knowles. Sometimes you just have to say F it and go down that lane and try and make something happen. The game on the line here. Not too sure what kicks he's wearing, but I'm a fan of him.
I think P.J. Knowles, when he fell, might have hurt a little something, but thankfully all the sweat that's on the floor has to be wiped up, so it gives him a chance to kind of breathe. They will have that all cleaned up. That is the 4th foul on Ethan Burns, by the way.
That's both him and Brett now in a bit of foul trouble this game now.
Yes. Knowles misses the first free throw. Brett with 3 fouls. And both Goodens with 3 fouls.
Wow. Well, in a game with a lot of physicality, you got to expect the refs to blow their whistle at some point.
Missed his first, his second is up and good. He's got 10 points, P.J. Knowles. 43-34. Under 4 minutes to play in the 4th. And that'll be a foul on Marshall Neal, his second, as Coach Murphy yelling out red, which I'm assuming means foul.
Just coming off talking about it, Mari Spiva and his relationship with the free throw line, and Pat Murphy might have heard, or he's probably also seeing what we're seeing, calling red. See if Spiva can prove Coach wrong.
Back iron miss. Subs come in for DeSales. Another one for Spiva. Missed his first at this trip. Back iron miss again. Grant Weekly the rebound for DeSales. This will be Knowles, near side wing. And they'll go to Marshall Neal on the left point. Back to Knowles, near side wing. Hands it off Weekly. Goes far side. Marshall Neal tries to go inside to McAllister, and he does. His shot no good. Got his own rebound and draws the foul.
Man, McAllister's really battling down there in the paint. Getting a lot of swiping hands anytime he gets the basketball. Now he's going to be getting a chance at 2 to cut within this deficit.
Tyler Gooden with 4 fouls now. McAllister's first in and out.
See, both teams have really been struggling at the charity stripe tonight, but it's been the Stallions with it really standing out with them trailing in this ball game, especially being at home on senior night. You know, just under 3 minutes left in this game. You never know. There could still be some magic.
Rebound to Matt Brett of Westerville Central. McAllister steals it away, gives it to Marshall Neal. Knowles will have it near side wing. Inside McAllister, poked away Ethan Burns.
Great anticipation from the Warhawk defense right there, picking off P.J. Knowles.
And a body bump on C.J. Carter. For his third, puts Henderson at the line for Westerville Central.
See, I don't think that's the guy that Coach Murphy and his team want to send to the charity stripe. I know Josh Henderson's a pretty good free throw shooter.
Not when you're shooting 80% at the line. Henderson with his first. Good. 15 now for Henderson.
A little bit extra arc on that shot for Henderson. Adjusting for these stiff rims he's dealing with down here in Columbus.
A 10-point lead. A little bit different rims in Genoa Township.
Yeah, a little bit.
Second one a miss. Ethan Burns the rebound. And a timeout for Westerville Central. It'll be a 30-second timeout for Coach Shaver.
Coach got that timeout in time? Are you kidding me?
He did.
That was a perfectly timed timeout call from Coach Shaver. Ethan Burns, incredible hustle play, sprinting after that ball to get the offensive rebound. And right before he falls out of bounds, Coach Shaver able to get that timeout call. That's big.
Well, if I've been tracking the timeouts correctly, after this, Westerville Central will have one timeout remaining, and DeSales will have 3. 2:33 to play. It's 44-34. Westerville Central leading DeSales. And Coach Shaver still in the huddle drawing things up. And why don't we check in with the third member of our broadcast crew, Wes Minke.
Yeah, as always, I believe it's situational, but definitely a play with Shaver here to potentially get the ball into Henderson rather than Spiva, sending your best guy back to the line. If they want to force the fouls early, keep it in his hands.
Statistician Skip Ford just pointed out to me how Josh Henderson's now 2 for 6.
Ooh.
If I read that correctly at the free throw line tonight.
Not good.
Something that's really been swept under the rug. Again, I think just because the Warhawks are winning in this game, you know, free throws always stand out more in a game where you're trailing. See if Henderson can turn the tide here.
McAllister picked up his third as Henderson converts his first free throw. He's got 16 now. Another one for Henderson. Up and in. 17 for Henderson. 46-34. Westerville Central leads DeSales. Right about 2:20 to play in this one. And P.J. Knowles in the paint, can't get his bucket to go. McAllister the rebound, put back, rolls off the rim, no. Ethan Burns is going to foul out of this game. That's his 5th.
Third team foul at the line for the Stallions, number 21, Frankie McAllister. Central substitution, number 10, Tyler Gooden. And number 5 for the Stallions, C.J. Carter.
So Tyler Gooden will replace Ethan Burns. So now you're without that physicality on the inside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're definitely going to miss him for, looks for me to believe, the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm not too sure how many points he's had in this game, but he's made a huge impact with his physicality down low.
Only 2 points for Burns. McAllister's first free throw is up and good. He's got 13. Another one for Frankie McAllister. Back iron miss, Henderson the rebound. Henderson brings it up the floor for Westerville Central. Gives it off to Amari Spiva. Then goes Matt Brett. And Matt Brett will be fouled by Chase Cromwell. That'll be the first on Cromwell.
DeSales going right to the foul game. Picking on Matt Brett this time around.
67% on the season at the line, and that one bounces around and in. Well, gentlemen, this could be a long 2 minutes if DeSales decides to keep fouling. Brett his second. That one's good. 6 points for Matt Brett. It's now 48-35 Westerville Central.
And now the Warhawks are dropping back into a 1-2-2 zone to end this game.
Marshall Neal, near side wing. Looking for a screen. Got it into the corner. Cromwell, three, good.
Cromwell making him pay right away.
Henderson on the near baseline. Trap gets it up to Amari Spiva. Spiva cross court to Gooden. Matt Brett to Spiva, and he will be fouled.
Not too sure what Coach Shaver was screaming at, but it just so happened to be as simultaneous when Amari Spiva got the basketball.
Chase Cromwell picks up his second. Amari Spiva at the line.
And now I say it again. Let's see if Amari Spiva can prove Coach wrong.
Nope, that one rims in and out.
Fortunate sight for Coach Shaver.
Yeah, you think about all the free throws missed and what that could do to this lead. Another miss by Amari Spiva. Knowles will have it for DeSales. Down by 10, 48-38.
DeSales got to let that ball fly. Not too much time left on that clock.
McAllister near baseline, far baseline I should say. Marshall Neal, left point. Looks inside to Grant Weekly, puts up the floater, good for two.
I'll tell you what, that was some pretty terrific offense though from the Stallions. Got that ball moving, created some open space down there in the middle and executed on a floater.
Coach Murphy says, I need a timeout. It'll be a full timeout on the floor with, what is that, a minute 12 to play? Minute 12 on the clock. As we inch closer to this one being over, but it's an 8-point game.
You know, the Stallions aren't quite out of this yet. You know, we're seeing the Warhawks really struggle at the free throw line. We're going to need to start hitting free throws to close. I was going to say just about 30 seconds of game time ago how, you know, the Warhawks have really deserved all these trips to the free throw line tonight with their impressive defensive play. But hopefully it doesn't come to bite them.
48-40 is your score, a minute 12 to play here at DeSales. And P.J. Knowles actually getting attended to by the athletic trainer. A little bit of a cut on his neck area.
I'm sure he's not even feeling it right now. You know how much this game must mean to him. 6'4" senior.
On senior night.
He's been a big factor of this, you know, this program for a few years now.
The inbound, Mason Gooden goes to Henderson. Henderson up the floor. Henderson, center logo. Henderson finds Mason Gooden, but it's intercepted by Marshall Neal. Up the floor to P.J. Knowles. And Knowles will drop it in. He's got 12 points. It's 48-42 with under a minute to play and a timeout for DeSales.
You know, statistician, if I can get that word out, Skip Ford just informed me how Amari Spiva and Josh Henderson are combined 5 of 15 at the free throw line in this ball game. Kind of makes Coach Shaver have to wonder in his mind, you know, who are you trying to get the ball to at the end of this game? You know, you're just on your heels right now trying to get out of this ball game alive.
Yeah, free throws are so critical right here. I mean, throughout this entire game, Westerville Central has struggled as a team. 66% at the line for the season.
And they got to be well under that in this game. No doubt about it, they're under 50%. But let's just see if we can get out of this. You know, this would be a huge confidence boost for the Warhawks if they can find a way to win this ball game. You know, all the hype around Central Ohio has been on this St. Francis DeSales team. after they upset that undefeated 15-0 Reynoldsburg team this past Tuesday. Let's see what this last 56 seconds has in store.
Mason Gooden to inbound.
Wow.
And that'll be a 5-second call on Mason Gooden. And he blew the whistle right as he was inbounding it, and I don't agree with that at all.
Coach Shawver can't believe it. And now the Warhawks, it looks like they're going to be going back to man for this last 15 seconds and change, and I think that's the right call.
58 seconds. The inbound goes to McAllister, who lays it up. No, P.J. Knowles can't clean it up. Matt Brett the rebound. A whistle and a foul on Matt Brett of Westerville Central, and P.J. Knowles is beyond frustrated at the moment.
Let's see if Matt Brett has that clutch gene in him once more. We've seen it a couple times this season, but I know P.J. Knowles is upset. But that was a good no call from the referees. He bumped into his own teammate. It looked like it was Frankie McAllister.
Yeah.
You know, everyone on that Stallions team was fighting like heck to get that offensive rebound. Uh-oh.
Another miss. Matt Brett at the line. His first one bounces to the right.
And the Warhawks just can't make the Stallions pay. A lot of ball game left.
That one rolls off. No good. 50 seconds to play. P.J. Knowles has it for DeSales. Top of the key, 3 for Knowles, that's no good. Weekly is going to be fouled as he went up for the attempt.
And Matt Brett didn't want to give up that easy putback. He came in crashing for that rebound hard. Great job by Weekly positioning himself to get that basketball. And now is that going to be 4 on Matt Brett?
Yes. Wow. 75% at the line is Weekly on the season. That one up and good.
Only a 5-point game for the Stallions.
48-43, 43 seconds to play.
But the good thing that you can say, no matter what, it's going to be a 2-possession game still. You control your own destiny.
Front of the rim, no good for Weekly. Ball tipped to Knowles for the 3, far corner. No. Henderson gets the rebound, and he fights in traffic.
Man, Josh Henderson saves the day. That huge rebound. Actually, the ball bounces directly to P.J. Knowles on the perimeter. I think that was the most open shot he's had all night long in that corner. Just couldn't get it to go. Hopefully the Warhawks can survive this one.
Foul was on Frankie McAllister, his 4th.
What a ball game we've had on this Sunday evening.
Saturday, right?
Saturday, excuse me. You got me.
You're taking away my weekend. Another miss at the line. Henderson couldn't make that first one. Free throws, free throws, free throws, and he misses that one. P.J. Knowles with the rebound. 33 seconds. Knowles near side, down 48-43. Count the bucket for P.J. Knowles.
I think that was the right call by the referee, too. Tyler Gooden did everything he could, but I don't think he was in position set for that charge.
And now Tyler Gooden fouls out of the game.
Wow. Warhawk players are dropping like flies right now. Stallions have the Warhawks right where they want them.
P.J. Knowles, I believe, has blood on his uniform or maybe bleeding from his neck real quick.
It's weird because I don't see it. Must be in the jersey.
Yeah, it's just a jersey, yep. So quick cleanup there for P.J. Knowles by the training staff of DeSales.
And now we still got 31 seconds left in this ball game, and you know it's either going to be a 2 or 3 point game after this free throw attempt. Warhawks got to make sure they box out, get a body on the shooter. And now who knows who gets the ball for the Warhawks shoot free throws after this, but you know, you gotta make sure you clear your mind. It's a mental game at this point. You can't let your mind beat you.
Well, they throw a huge bandage over his neck, P.J. Knowles, to try and stop the bleeding, but he's sweating so bad that that adhesive is not going to take. Knowles misses the free throw. Henderson will be fouled.
And I feel like that trip to the medical tent, I guess you could call it, I feel like it was probably negative for P.J. Knowles. Almost iced him, so to speak.
Yeah.
He does not look too happy right now. Still a 3-point game. If we happen to see a couple more missed free throws from the Warhawks, Stallions are still in this ball game.
Well, it's 48-45 with 28 seconds to play. Westerville Central. Henderson with free throws. His first. Bounces off, no good.
I cannot believe what I am seeing, Brent.
Incredible. Just miss after miss at the line for Westerville Central right now.
All you need is one here to make it a 2-possession game.
The second one. That one good.
Not too many times in this game have you seen a shot rattle in with these rims. Josh Henderson gets lucky and ends that streak.
Timeout on the floor. And I'm not sure who actually called that timeout. They each had one remaining if I was tracking right. But either way,
I think something to keep an eye on, you know, the possession arrow is favoring the Stallions. You know, while it's a 2-possession game, if they happen to get a quick basket, obviously they're going to be looking to foul, but if you can get your hands on the basketball and potentially get a tie-up, Warhawks got to make sure they execute down the stretch here.
49-45, Westerville Central. 28 seconds to play on this Saturday night.
My mistake, you know, getting a little antsy myself. I'm a big fan of Sundays, God's Day, you know, here at St. Francis DeSales.
Out of the timeout.
Now I'm surprised they're not letting them inbound at half court. Must have been just 30-second timeout or.
No, it was a full. And this is P.J. Knowles, far side, step back three. No, front of the rim. Henderson will draw the foul.
And the Warhawks might just get out of this game alive.
They'll barely get out of it.
That was a tough contest from the Warhawks defense there too on P.J. Knowles. Last thing you wanted to do there is give up a potential 4-point play. Luckily the ball could not find the back of the net. Now Henderson with the chance to close.
Wow. That one just rattles in for Henderson, and he's got 19 points now.
The ball just doesn't want to go in the basket for the Warhawks. These shots are tiptoeing, bouncing in.
Off to the left. And Amari Spiva with a steal off of P.J. Knowles, and he hit the floor hard. Amari Spiva is going to be down. I mean, he hit the floor hard with his back.
Yeah, without a doubt. You love the heart, you love the hustle, you love the tenacity and intensity that Amari Spiva just continues to bring in this game, all the way down to the clock hits 0.
P.J. Knowles commits his 4th. Amari Spiva really holding his back, and I think the officials are agreeing with Amari Spiva that he needs a sub.
You know, they might be trying to be strategic here too. Of course, the last thing we want to see is, you know, Amari Spiva really holding that lower back. That's a very bad injury if it would happen to be something serious, but it's going to be Braden Folds who checks in for him, and now he gets a chance at 2 points.
Folds, good.
Fresh off the bench. He doesn't need to get warm.
Another one for Folds. Made his first. Off to the right, no good. Knowles the rebound. Knowles, top of the key. Knowles step back to his right. 3 is no good. Saved by McAllister. Matt Brett has it. Whistle and a foul.
Looks like that's going to do it. The Warhawk fans who are here in Columbus today are letting it be known. It is.
Yeah, what's the scene down there, Wes?
Shawver is fist pumping like crazy. You'd think he's on the Jersey Shore the way he's fist pumping down here.
Good reference.
And then you go and look in the other side of this gymnasium, and it is absolutely silent. A lot of disbelief over there.
Matt Brett misses his free throw. That's going to be an interesting number in the postgame.
Yeah, without a doubt.
How many of these free throws did we actually make for Westerville Central, as Matt Brett, his second, is up and good. .52-45, final 2 seconds. P.J. Knowles will get that bucket to go. He ends the night with 16, and the final score will be Westerville Central 52, DeSales 47. Our post-game wrap-up is next on Central Ohio Sports Network. Sorry about that, folks. Had a little malfunction there with the break, so we'll start our post-game wrap-up right here, and we'll try to get back to a break here in just a little bit. But it is Westerville Central getting the win, 52-47, and I tell you, Lance, coming into this game, I had some doubts, honestly, that Westerville Central would be able to contend. And they did. They were able to contend in this game.
Well, you know, it all starts on the defensive end, and you know the Warhawks really came to play tonight. You know, they were really hot, and coming in off a back-to-back, they made sure to keep that momentum going. Whatever Shawver was telling them in the locker room, he's doing right. Just an absolutely incredible game from the Warhawks. Seems like a lot of it got chipped away because of the late game dramatics. But nevertheless, just an absolutely tremendous game from the Warhawks on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, big win for Westerville Central, too. They're now 7-11 overall. That gives them 6 wins going into the tournament draw now. Adding on to that, a couple more games to go yet before that. DeSales is now 11-7 overall, and they were on a 2-game winning streak. They now hit that losing streak, and the Warhawks are in a position where, hey, I mean, we can talk tournament time, and we can really talk about some of the seeding that they're going to have the opportunity to really play with on that Sunday draw day.
I mean, absolutely. And how about the tossing and turning that's been going on around Central Ohio over this past week? I mean, I think it starts right in-house where we are right now with St. Francis DeSales having the biggest upset of possibly the season in Central Ohio, beating the 15-0 Reynoldsburg this past Tuesday. And now they fall to, you know, a team that most people think have been a letdown season for the Warhawks. But talk about a huge momentum builder for Westerville Central and Coach Shawver. You know, this is the type of game that can give you the belief, the true belief, that, hey, we can hang with anybody, especially in the Division II pool play that we'll be seeing in a couple weeks.
Well, I know that on his way back, Wes Minke was able to hear some of the reaction into the locker room for Westerville Central. Well, Wes, sorry about that. We're having all kinds of technical problems here at the end of the game. So the Warhawks and the Stallions, there we go. Feed you another headset there. And we'll line you up. Now we'll bring in Wes Minke.
Yeah, I'd say a pretty confident locker room, pretty excited locker room. Shawver and his crew walked in, let's put it point blank, screaming excited. So a big win for the Warhawks. Obviously, they're fired up. The players are fired up. Stealing a game at DeSales on senior night. Obviously, huge momentum both ways. Back-to-back nights, a couple big wins. So hopefully rallies the troops, gets some momentum back for the Warhawks as they head back home.
Yeah, and they're going to have another week off.
Yeah.
We won't see action again for another week, and it'll be a Friday night at Gahanna Lincoln. Westerville Central will be on the road at Gahanna, and then they'll be back at home on Tuesday, the 11th, for Westerville South. They'll have a final home game on the 14th against Central Crossing, and then they'll have that final regular season matchup on the 22nd. Or actually, that game changed. It moved to a Wednesday night now, that New Albany game. A 7 p.m. or 7:30 tip on that one. So, but only a few more games. The tournament draw is February 9th. So Gahanna, that Friday night, that's the last game that you have to get another win on your record going into the tournament draw. So right now you're at 7. If you can do it, you can try to pull 8. You've already beaten Gahanna once, 56-47. And they're in the middle of the pack right now, right with you, Westerville Central, 4-3 in the OCC Ohio. So that's pretty important to note, because that'll be a big matchup coming up on Friday night for Westerville Central when they have to take on Gahanna at Gahanna. That's always a tough matchup playing there for Westerville Central.
Yeah, and Gahanna's just coming off yesterday against a big win against New Albany, a huge win for the OCC Ohio for them. Going up against Afrocentric Early College, we're not too sure of the result of that game tonight. But granted, you always know in a matchup against Westerville Central and Gahanna Lions that it's going to be a dogfight. I expect it to be the same next week. Thank goodness that the Warhawks have another 7 days off, as we've seemed to be very successful when we get some extra days and Coach Shaver gets his players those extra couple days to, whether it's put in a new system or integrate something new. And especially now, get some extra rest now that we're heading towards the end of the season.
Well, hey, let's give a shout-out to the seniors for DeSales. Not the outcome that they wanted, but an awesome opportunity for them to play in a tough game, even though it did not go their way. But I thought this is probably a St. Francis DeSales team that in the Division III tournament, you don't probably want to mess with.
Absolutely.
Because they've got some shooters, and I think a couple of them were just having an off night. But I thought overall they're still a pretty good team.
Yeah, I feel like, I always kind of like the mantra of trying to keep your opponent guessing. But I feel like they were trying to do a little too much in this game. I feel like that zone they were trying out without really putting too much pressure on the full court press in that first half wasn't too successful for them. It really gave the Warhawks a chance to get into a groove early and to get comfortable shooting that ball, and it really paid dividends in the second half. But, credit where credit is due to the Warhawks defense. They were tremendous tonight.
Your final score, once again, Westerville Central 52 and DeSales 47. Let's look at these final numbers for Westerville Central. 17 of 33 from the field, 51%. Wow. 7 of 13 from behind the arc, 54%. And there's the free throws. 11 of 30. 11 of 30, 37%. 21 rebounds, 8 of those by Henderson. 14 assists. Spiva had 5, 7 turnovers for the silver and black in this one. But that number that stands out are those free throws. If they would have even made 5 more of those, this game would have been a little more out of reach for DeSales. But if you make even half of those, I mean, 10 more in that game. This game was a blowout.
This end of game scenario was absolutely a rare occurrence that you don't normally see, and especially high school basketball. It's just unbelievable that the Warhawks have 30 free throw attempts on the the stat sheet. But I guess with the way the game was playing, but if you go 11 for 30 any other time, I think anyone would tell you no chance that team won that ball game. But it just shows, credit to the Warhawks that they were playing consistent basketball the entire game. You could argue for all 4 quarters leading up to that 2-minute foul fest and the end of this game. And, it's exactly what we've been wanting to see from the Warhawks is more consistency, and we finally been getting that these last couple days.
Well, let's give a thanks to the DeSales Athletic Department for our broadcast space here this evening on this Saturday night. Thanks to Coach Pat Murphy for his emails, his stats coming into this one. We also want to thank Coach Shaver for his time and stats coming into the game as well. Big thanks to our statistician Skip Ford. For Wes Minke, Lance Wyatt, I'm Brent Ford saying one last time that Westerville Central defeats St. Francis DeSales 52-47 here on your home of the Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.